So I think, are we ready to roll? Okay, we are ready to roll. Okay, welcome to this stream, and today we are going to talk mainly about the Google Stitch that came out. So first, let's kind of do a quick review of the system so that we are a bit more familiar with it. First, let's go to the new Stitch, and there's a Twitter feed that talks about it. It says meet your new vibe design partner, and they have an AI native canvas, smarter design agent, voice, instant prototype, and a design system. And I already have some comments about it, but without further ado, let's actually take a look. So first and foremost, I'm going to create a sample. Okay.
Hey, what are we designing today?
Well, I want to design a sample software that is going to look like a marketplace for AI agents that are pre-built. Then can do various office tasks, manage documents, reply to emails, and convert documents from one to another. Simple, like, business stuff. We need about 16
screens. I love that ambition. What are we thinking for the first view? Home, explore, maybe a profile page?
Well, home, explore the agent, which is the agent's lists, some example of them, and then agent profiles, which has their prompts.
On it. Let's craft a sleek, modern marketplace. Working on it.
Okay, it's working on it. While it's working on it, let's go take a look at the Stitch by Google, and let's see what else we have. Let's first look at the announcement. I want to see if there is any announcement that came out. Let's go on the docs. Start with a prompt, iterate, and do a design. Okay.
To locate Stitch by Google.
Okay, let's let it continue. So first thing we notice is that the voice has some issues. Okay, now it has created this screen, which is like I would say they call that maybe a minimal design system. And to the left, we notice another issue here. Okay, let's decrease the percentage, maybe 45%, 70%. Okay, so it's taking a while to create, which is fine. We can pen to see, and this is our what it has created as a mock-up. Okay, so that's good. Now, how about, okay, what do I think of this design? It's alright, but it's not quite what I would want. In the meantime, okay, and this is how you're supposed to work with it, and you can learn it. Let's see, anything you need to know. You have to say what it is. You have to have an idea of the theme and the content and some reference images. So the first prompt doesn't need to be perfect, but you don't have to worry about the specifics. And you have to say what device it is. And okay, now effective prompting. Practices for prompting. Start with a general idea. Describe the functionalities. Set the vibes, like they say. Be specific. So this part, I think, is actually something that should, instead of prompting it, we should have like a pointer that says exactly what we're supposed to do, right? And to show you a preview, I'm going to show you a preview of that. If we go on I'm going to go open my, 1 second, let me just open my screen. I'm going to open a screen that's going to show you exactly how I've been solving that issue. And to solve this issue, what I've created was a simple 1 second, give me 1 second. Okay, now imagine that okay, I'm gonna go to Chrome. No, it's not that one. Another screen that we should have. Okay, never mind. I'm going to open it differently. What Google Stitch does not have is something like that, right? So basically, okay. So here is an example of how we could have it. Let's create a new page. I'm going to create a new page, and I'm going to say here, maybe we should have the prompt here. So this is going to be an interesting one. We should have here. So this is how I would rebuild it. I would go here. I would copy this element, and then I would go in my let's say this panel. Okay, I would say this panel we should and increase the okay, so we should allow the option to pass a prompt that will generate the page for us, and we would also need a grounded design system that the prompt can follow. So what we're doing here, we are trying to see how far we can take this idea, right? And I'm going to come back to this idea later. I'm going to come back to this idea later. But as this is going, we're going to continue with the exploration of the stitch to kind of see exactly what this is missing. And what it is, let's see. First thing I've noticed here was this. When we hover on the new project, right, there should be a close button here. And when we click, and you can actually see the comment that I've made here. Okay? Now, let's go to the second part that says focus on specific screen features. Okay, we shouldn't need a prompt for that. It's too much work. I think point and click should be able to do that. Now we have to change the primary color to forest green. I should be able to target the primary color here. What else? Okay, device modes. What is the device mode? Okay, so what else do we have here? Okay, we have app and web. And we should translate the user interface into something new. Okay. Now, let's see. What would the MCP do here? Oh, you can actually connect the stitch to anti-gravity. That actually would be cool. So you need to set a API key, and then that's actually gonna be cool. So from there you create you can create an API key, store it, and then you can install the Stitches extension for Gemini CLI. Okay, that's actually a very cool thing, and I should probably do that. Let's see. That is a good one to explore, because, and I should add that in the list of okay, let's create a new slide, and I'm going to call this MCP and CLI extensions, because this actually could be a powerful feature, and I want to know how to use that into the application. Okay, now I'm going to see if I switch, and then I can install that, and I want to, it says the Stitch extension has been installed successfully, which is kind of cool. Okay, so now that this has been installed successfully, now what we can do is go back to the user interface to see what has been happening. And here I want to check out, let's see, the documentation, which says that MCP server, manage HCP servers, and I paste the API key here. Okay, and I can also do it for VS Code, but I'm going to keep it as Gemini CLI just so I can see what is going on. Go Cloud. Now, what would I be able to do with it? A Stitch to React component system writer prompt. Get a set of React tools. HTML to UI frameworks. Prompting for images. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Now, reference. You can create projects. Get, delete, list projects. You can generate, let's see. This is actually cool. And it's almost like Google. Okay, let's see. Okay, now you can create a project. So I would say create a new Stitch project called marketing site, set up a new project for my app. Okay, I want to actually try that. So basically improving Google Stitch with Google Stitch. Okay, so let's give this a go. I'm going to go here and let's transition first. Okay, I want to actually see if that's gonna work. Set up a new project for my app. Maybe I should restart it. So if I restart the let's restart that, and let's go take a look at the Google Stitch to see if that took effect. Now I told it to okay, and I don't like this design at all. It's good, but it's missing, it's trying to do too much. So I'm going to start another project, and like I told you, you see, we should have like a easy new project here, and I should have that in our review. So I'm gonna screenshot this, copy to clipboard. I'm gonna create a new, and I'm gonna say new project button. And here I should basically say, I'm gonna grab this here, and I'm gonna say that here, okay, and I'm gonna say there should be a new project button here to make it easier. Okay, so that's to remember. Now let's go back to Stitch. Okay, I'm gonna create a new project again just to see. We're gonna make it as web, and I'm gonna say, okay, let's say we use a different design system. Let's use Obsidian, and ideate, bring a problem to solve and see solutions. Okay, this is redesigned. Let's try the, okay, so each one of them do something different. Okay, let's try ideate. Okay, and I'm going to say I want to create a minimalist set of primitive UI components for AI native screens. First, we have loading, we have chat boxes, we have some agent runners, and some task queues that are made for agents and AI native workflows. Okay, so this is loading now. Let's look at the document while this project is loading. And okay, so one of the prompts they say you can use in the reference for MCP, it seems like I was saying, this is what Google, you need to do a better job. I think Google vibe coded this, because we should have, this should be more readable. But let's go back to our reference. Okay, so you can delete a project. First, let's see if we can start that project. You can list the project. What is the prompt? List, show, list. So I'm starting to realize that back in the days, what used to be called prompts, I mean, now they call it prompts, but it was simply API documentation. Okay, get screen. Okay, so now let's go to the SDK first, because I think this is my prediction. My prediction is that people, designers, are going to use, let's see what it says. Okay, let me finish my thought. Designers are going to use this, but developers are going to use the SDK, because if you're like using Google CLI, which is this tool here, I think it will be easier to integrate it into your workflow. Because for example, if I show you this will be much better. Like if I restart this, if I create a new project, there should be a prompt here that shows me the project. So you see, this is already better than what Google has. Look at that. Here, this doesn't have a lot of things. It has this panel on here. Okay, I'm gonna say Option 1. Okay, option 1. Option 1, let's just see what it does. Option 1. Okay, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Okay, now while it's loading, let's read the documentation. We're going to use the SDK to generate our first screen under 5 minutes. So the first thing we should do, first, what is the difference between the MCP, Stitch by MCP, versus SDK? That's already a point of confusion. But we have Node, we don't have an API key. Let's npm install Stitch SDK. Let's see if there is a question I can ask here. I'm going to put this in AI Studio to ask it some questions. So bear with me for a second. I'm going to do that in a quick second here. But in the meantime, let's watch this. Let's keep an eye on this, just so we can see what this has done for us. Can we move this? Oh, Google, what are you doing? We cannot move this. Oh my God. Can we move this? We cannot move it. Okay, it's putting together something. I'm gonna say continue. Okay, let's let it continue. That's already a bug. We cannot move this. Okay. Well, okay, it says, okay, it's loading here. There's like so many, okay, let's go back to, let's ask Gemini question about the documentation. What I'm gonna do. Okay, it's loading the screens. I'm going to say, is there a difference between the SDK and the MCP? Okay, now it says use AI with SDK. Okay, so these we don't need this yet. AI driven workflows. This is too complex for now. We're not gonna worry about this for now. Or to edit a screen, we can use screen.edit to iterate on it with natural language models and edit it. We should have the opportunity to get the HTML. Okay, this is actually a good thing because we can get HTML and we can output it. This is actually probably gonna be very, this is much better because look at that. Let's say here I want to say okay, blank page, and I want to say, can you create me a grid of APIs of agents? Basically think of a terminal multiplexers, but instead of terminals we just have a bunch of chat inputs and chat conversations, and then on the left we have a panel that's a task queue. So let's have about 8 agents, each with a different persona. Okay, so now let's see, we can give it a name. We can say we can call it agent grid. Let's see if our system is faster than, okay, now you can see generating page with AI. Now let's go back to the Stitch. Stitch is still loading, by the way. Stitch is still loading. Okay, so can we have our page generate faster than Stitch? Okay, it's still loading, Let's see what page is going to be faster. I'm curious about that now. Still loading. Okay, you can see generating screen, and let's see if our system is gonna be faster than Stitch. Our system is faster than Stitch. Our system is faster than Stitch. Look at that. Now can I scroll? I'm gonna disable the pin. And can I scroll? Yes. Okay. This is actually amazing. Now the grid is a little messed up, but let me see if I can fix that. I'm going to go and pin. I'm going to select the main. This is something Stitch doesn't have. Stitch doesn't have the ability to see the element tree. Right now, it's still loading. Do you see what's going on here? My system is better at generating a decent design. Okay, now I can describe the changes, and I can say I noticed that in wide screens the grid breaks down and all the elements are broken. Can we make sure so that when we expand it on like landscape that the grid are well proportioned? Okay, and now it's going to do what it's supposed to do. So let me go back to let me just do a little update on the YouTube. Okay, now it's loading. Is Stitch still loading? Yes, it is still loading. While this is loading and our changes are ready to be made, I'm going to go take a look at oh my god, and this actually gives us a preview. We can full screen check it. Okay, I can go full screen and then I can apply the change. Now I applied the change. I can exit this. Okay, I can close it. I can close this and let me see, disable the, and voila. Okay, it's not quite, it still has little wonkiness, but it is so much better. And is Stitch still loading? Yes, Stitch is still loading. We're gonna give it a couple more minutes. Meanwhile, let's read the documentation so I can understand the difference between the MCP and the SDK. So here is my understanding of the MCP versus the MDK. Okay, so this one is the server side. It's going to, and this one is client side. Okay, so what I think is going on, is that with the SDK you can manipulate the elements directly, and you can, instead of clicking, okay, so this is, I'm gonna say, is this stuck? Are you stuck? Okay, we tried the ideate. Let's put that in our review. Ideate. I'm gonna say ideate broken. Okay, so what I notice is that it takes too long. Okay, now I'm gonna wait a bit longer to see, but in the meantime I'm going to, you see how long that Google is taking? I'm going to go into this my version, and I'm going to say, I'm going to create a new page. I'm going to create a new page. I'm going to call it terminal. Okay, terminal. Okay, I'm going to call it terminal. I'm going to make it blank, and I'm going to say I would like to have just a minimal kind of like terminal screen. Basically, think of a grid, responsive design, and it's basically on the left panel a task queue, and and a workspace. The workspace is basically, let's say, building a CRUD for a image album, for an image album. And on the right side, we just have a bunch of agents that are working on the project, on different parts of the project. Let's have a total of 8. All right, now click on create page. It's generating here. There's a little bug, but we'll see. While it's generating, let's see. Google, after 5 minutes, has finally came up with the design. So let's take a look at the first screen. Okay, so it gave us this properly. What I wish it has is that I can click on an item. So this is another thing. Okay, second, it gives us task queue manager, comment chat. Let's see. Let's type that in the review. Okay. Let's take the most complete screen, which is this one. Okay. Let's go here. First, let's try to edit it manually. What does this do? Direct edit. I'm going to click on it. It just opens the prompt. That's all it did. I don't want that. Let me move it out of the way. Let's go to move. Let's pan. Okay, I click here. Can I right click? If I go to focus, I focus it. Right click. If I do, let's see, variants, layout, color scheme, image, text font, custom. Number of options. Aspect to vary. Why don't I do layout? Why don't I do text content? Gonna generate a variation. While this is loading, look at how easy mine is to implement. I'm going to go here. Look at that. Just look at that. Now I'm going to show you how easy my version is to implement. I'm going to go here. I'm going to select. I'm going to say, I don't like this. Why don't we center this? Click here, and I can say center this text. Bam. We're gonna wait 1 second, 2 seconds. I also have a little timer that is showing. Bam. I can preview it. I can see it on a full screen. I can apply. Bam. Do you see what's going on here? Stitch does not have that option. How do you do that in Stitch? I go to modify, edit, and it gives you the selector. But if I click on it, what happens? I'm going to try to edit this. Okay, edit text. Okay, I can tab. I can say, can I center this? Can I center this? Where is the option to center? None. I have to say edit with AI. I have to say center this text. Okay, I'm going to click. I'm going to see how long. Remember, mine did it under 4 seconds. Now, while this is loading, I want to go back here. Do you see what's going on here? I can not only I can select the element tree, and I can create new layouts. So, like for example, I can go here. I can go here. Let's expand the pin, the chat box, and let's disable the pins. Okay. If I say now, let me refresh this for now. Let's refresh. Okay. I'm gonna go on the agent grid page, or they call it terminal. Okay. You see how we have all of the elements. We have all the elements that we can select. We click and it selects them. And let's say I want to make this blue. Click on here. See, I click on it. I click on it and I go in the chat box here, it's okay, it's a little, it has some issues, so I have to fix that. But let me refresh again. That's a bug. Okay, let's go to agent grid. Let's click here. Okay, make this blue. Enter. Let me see how long it's gonna take. Okay, I have a bug here. That's definitely a bug. Okay, apply. It's blue. I can say make this red. I say make this red. Make this red. It's a little buggy, but it's working. You know? It's a little buggy, but it's working. And I can pin it. I can preview. Okay, that's a bug here. I'm gonna fix that bug. But let me go back to the stitch. Stitch doesn't have that option. So I'm going to go and screenshot this, and I'm gonna add a comment. I'm gonna add a comment here. I'm going to say first copy. I'm gonna go here. I'm going to see basic text editing. Okay, and I say gonna go here, add a new shape. Okay, I'm gonna add a new shape, and what I can say is simply I should be able to edit text, but also format it and also position it. Okay, Stitch does not have that. So the way I would solve it is that I would have something like that. When I click on this element, okay, let's say I'm gonna show you how I would do it. I would have a little box like that, and that box would take off it like that, and there would be like a contextual thing. Remember, I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. We go Google, we can say context. It's not showing. Okay. Okay. So remember, Microsoft used to have this thing, like they call it contextual menu. MS-DOS, MS Word. Microsoft used to have this. This is the what I'm talking about. So Microsoft used to have this thing. When you select text, it shows this menu. And can we have that? So we're going to prompt. Okay. Okay, and what we're gonna do, okay, sorry for the black screen. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna first ask Gemini to do something. We have some issues with our page. So our side panel, the pin, sometimes when we create a new page, the panels have issues overlapping each other. The panels should not overlap each other. And to make sure that we actually give it context, so this is what is important, is that we have to give it context. And how we do that is that we have to open the let me go open the system. Let's paste it back here. Okay, so this is the panels that overlap each other. So I'm gonna right click and select the element, and I'm going to just give all of this, copy this, and then this is what it should have. And it has some issues. Cancel. Let me let it go to town. So I'm going to go back to the stitch, and one important thing we have also is the ability to download artifacts. So artifacts are just the file names, which are the files to the disk, and that's how we would download it. So to go back to the question, I want to create a new chat, and I want to go back to the main documentation, and I want to say can you see this document? And I want to know what is the difference between the SDK and the MCP and Google CLI. I want to know the difference between MCP and the SDK and Gemini CLI and MCP. Okay. Now we have extracting themes. So it has a lot of options. And this is the reference. It tells us that we need to install it with Stick, the SDK. And these are the options that we have. How to set it up, how to import it, and these are the methods. And what else do we have here? The screens and the architecture. Okay, so let's see if we can play. Let's see what AI Studio tells us about this. Well, AI Studio tells us that first of all, the MCP is the blueprint. Okay, so actually the cloud people came up with it, and it was adopted by the industry, and that's how AI models connect to each other. Okay, so they would call it the USB of AI. Okay, this is reading too much. And okay, it matters because the Gemini CLI is the command line interface. Okay, now what is it has not been able to read the URL, so it's okay, it's all right. Let me go back to here. So really, this is all Google Stitch. So and in summary, we have the UI like that, and we have the command line interface that we can use for it. So the designs, I don't like them, you know. So let's actually, there's things it can do, there are things that it cannot do. I want to try simpler. I want to try simpler. Let's remove ID8. It seems like this one is not working properly. So let me go and actually say, let me actually try something. I'm gonna go on my website. Okay, I'm gonna give it my my URL. Okay, and I want to see what it's going to do with it. I give it my URL, and then let me give it my website, and I want to remove ID8 and give it maybe Thinking Pro, and I want to say, can you redesign my homepage based on the content. Okay, so now it's redesigning, and okay, another thing we should see in this is okay, so another problem I see, it's building it. It has extracted. So if you look at my user interface, that's my website. I made sure to keep it bare bones, and let's see what the Google Stitch is doing with it. In the meantime, I want to check on what I like about it is that it has extracted the colors, so it gives you like the basic stuff. It gives you some primary colors, secondary colors, tertiary colors, and some neutral. It gives you the fonts that you can use. It gives you some basic buttons. It gives you search icons and other icons. Now, how did it build my website? This is my old version. Now I want to see. Okay, nice. It's a bit minimalistic, but it's good. Now I want to say I wonder what it would look like based on some with images. Let's say I make it, experiments, software experiments, and even a robotics experiment. Okay, let's let it do its thing. Meanwhile, I want to check on my CLI to see what is going on, because I want to set up too bad if we figure this out, this is gonna be good, because it seems that you can install it and edit a screen, but also it has this MCP with the guide. It says you get the right into your IDE, whatever tool of your choice, and it says that, okay, let's try that. Show me my Stitch projects. Okay, I want to see if Google CLI will be able to do this. So I'm going to open a new instance of Gemini. By the way, Gemini has updated itself. So I want to say read the URL. Oh, so what's going on is that there's this thing here that you can do. You can say URL context. So when you enable URL, it should be able to read the URL, so it can tell us about the documentation, because this would actually be very useful to know when the MCP, how to set up the MCP versus how to set up the SDK, and what is the best scenario for each. So now I want to see what. Okay, so let's ask the CLI the question, plain and simple. It says okay, now I say, based on the documentation, I would like to know when to use the SDK versus when to use the MCP. That's what I want to find out. Okay, so it's loading. While it's loading, we can close this tab, and let me go back to the reading. And remember, I wanted to show you, I want to say, show me my projects, show me my Stitch projects, and to see if Google, the Gemini CLI is able to pick up that. I'm going to say yes. It says, remember, I already installed it, and see if it's going to pick it up. If it was able to pick it up, this is going to be wonderful. Okay, it's creating MCP tools. It's connecting to Gemini. Meanwhile, I want to take a look at this to see how it has created my project. And this is the new version. Oh, it asked me, enable engine visualizer example key and create sync. And where is that? That's the one. Okay, I'm gonna say it has loaded, but it's lacking the CSS. Okay, so my impression is that although, okay, it is made for vibe coders, it's not, you still need to know some coding stuff. You need to know how to code to be able to use it properly. Otherwise, it's gonna be hard to have context of how it works properly. Okay, so let me see what. Okay, so this is what it told me. Okay, it says the Stitch SDK, when you are building a custom application, if you are building a custom UI and you want to embed these AI features into the user interface, you use the SDK when you want programmatic control in a tight integration with the application state. You use the MCP when you want you want to build a front end. Okay, brand new application, it's a bridge to see your data. Okay, so well, I'm still confused, but I'm gonna go back to see if this is loading. Instead, I'm gonna say, can you create generate a variation? You can regenerate it. And let me see. Okay, so so for my first impression of Google Stitch, I want to say that it's promising. It has a lot of promises, but we need to. It's a bit slow sometimes. Okay, so let me go back to my other system, because I want to see how would that work. And what I've mentioned here was that, okay, I'm gonna say stuck. Sometimes it's good to do that. And that was a nice experiment, right? So on the next stream, this is what I'm going to be working on. First, addressing the project thing here, the new project button. The ID8 is not working properly. This, and also figuring out from the documentation, right? So the difference when, okay, so when to use MCP versus when to use the SDK, and how to authenticate. So let's go back to the thing to see. Okay, say setup. Okay, so API key. When to use which. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna try to do that off screen and then go come back to you. It's gonna let you. Ooh, this is actually nice. Let's see here. Can I open this full screen? New tab. Okay, so like I was saying, it would be nice if Stitch had better menus, better contextual menus, like Microsoft Word. And I want to say, let's try Figma contextual menus. And I've never used Figma, but I think, let's try images. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, at the very least, as a web designer, system and tool, there should be something like that allows the user to see what is going on. And how about we continue another time? Please subscribe. Okay, so you see how it has given us this page here. And another thing, can I open in a new tab? And it opened it in a new tab. That's good. That's actually good. And it has some nice cards. What would be good to now be able to do is to be able to, I'm gonna show you in my other system. Like for example, you see the Stitch, I should be able to click here and make an edit, but it's not possible. And I'm gonna show you on my system how fast this is. Now if I go to this, okay, let's say I refresh this page, okay, let's say I have this here, okay, I click on it, I click, and I just say, can you create a thick border that is red, about 5 pixels dotted, and then can we make the background image, the background color gray, and can we just have one text that says mine is better? Okay, let's see how many seconds it's going to take. It's taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we have this. Can we see full? We see the full screen. Close, apply. Look at that. Now, can we click on this? Let's say I don't like this one. I can just remove it. Bam. Delete that. And ooh, this is actually, there's a bug. I can just close this. Okay. There we go. I can go select this. I don't like it. Close. Delete. So now I can select the parent. I can say, can we have a text that is centered, black, that just says mine is better? Yeah, damn. I just want to see if that's going to do something to it. 7, 8, mine's better. Apply. Apply. Let me refresh. Can I refresh this? Oh, he did not save it. Okay, so at least we have this granularity. Okay, we can select, and the Google one does not have that option where we you see what I mean? So I can click, if I click, it says edit text, but it should not, I should have more options here. So this is here. When I click here, I'm going to add a comment and say that, okay, it should show delete, move, update, transform element. So those are all the things. If I want to create a new, and the review, I'd say what Google Stitch is lacking in its current iteration. Okay, and what else? So I want to say I am impressed, but I'm not very impressed. It needs a lot of modifications. It needs way more features, and I think on the next, it's getting a bit late. So on the next episode, if you subscribe, we'll go deeper into the world of the MCP servers, especially this screen is not, so I think if a screen is not working properly, all you have to do is say regenerate. So click on regenerate, let it regenerate. This, the canvas kind of behavior is not, is too, okay, so there should be a list of pages like here, you know, here. So here I want to say there should be a list of pages, right? And anybody's watching, or are you guys just bots? Well, in any case, can I get some comments and some likes or some subscribes if you like the content? Can you that would help a lot. But it's taking a bit longer than we think. So you see, they have a lot of options. A lot of options here. Like for example, right click, we have copy, we have copy ads, we have cut, duplicate, focus, we have instant prototype, regenerate, mobile app version, predictive heat map. Let's see what happens in the predictive heat map. We have variants, we have edit. Edit is lacking. We have this contextual menu here. Copy. Let's go here. Let's paste this here. And this is lacking a lot of things. So I think we'll explore all of these features. Preview, edit. I think I would say these should be integrated, and then you see this is broken. Predictive heat map, where is it? How do we see it? It's trying to do many things. Documents, shortcuts, forum, Discord, I think X, forum. Where's the forum? Oh, okay. Activity. Hot. Okay. Well, that was nice, and thank you. We'll continue again another time. All right. Bye bye.